The White House unveiling a new plan to restructure the government, something they say is about 100 years overdue. The U.S. Postal Service losing more than $65 billion in net profit over the last 10 years, and the president is hoping to fix that by privatizing it. But my next guest says it's not in the public interest and would be nothing more than a, quote, corporate raid by corporate pirates on the national treasure. I like that. All right, here now is Mark Dimondstein, American Postal Workers Union president. Sir, thank you for joining us. Tell me quickly, why are you against this?
Well, first, thanks for having me. We think it's a terrible idea. The beauty of the Postal Service is it belongs to everybody in this country. It runs without taxpayer dollars, and it serves everybody, no matter where we live, who we are, under a universal service mandate. If the post office were to be privatized, then whether people can get mail, packages, medicines, periodicals, and so on will depend on where we live and whether somebody can make a profit.
Okay. So why does it keep losing money, though? I mean, there's tremendous businesses within the post office. It has a tremendous value. Amazon takes advantage of it all the time. I love going to the post office. I love printing the labels. I'm all over it. What's the problem?
Well, that's a very important question. The fundamental financial problem with the post office was created by Congress in 2006. And there was a law passed called the Postal Accountability Enhancement Act that forced the post office to pre-fund retiree health benefits 75 years into the future to make it at 100% now. Now, the Postal Service was paying its way. Every other agency or company basically pays its way. Nobody had to face this kind of absurd burden. And what happened is $5.5 billion a year came out of postal funds. Again, that was not generated by taxpayer dollars, but by the users. And the post office just couldn't do it. So when you hear about
but you're just pre-funding future expenses. I mean, the rest of the government's the one that's wrong because they have these crazy costs and they're not. You're just paying for your future cost. That seems responsible.
Well, but there was no problem paying as one goes, and it was an arbitrary figure to begin with. It was not based on any accounting principles, actuary standards, and so on.
Maybe the benefits are just too expensive because, I mean, the benefits don't match what, I mean, everybody else in other businesses don't get those kind of pensions and retirement and that sort of thing. So maybe, you know, it's just that the benefits are too rich.
This had nothing to do with the retirement. The postal retirements are all well-funded. This had to do with retiree health care 75 years into the future. And so I think how absurd it is we can look at it this way. That was for workers that not only didn't work at the post office yet, but for workers who were not even born yet. And that's just not a business model that can work.
Is there another way to save money? I mean, is there a way, you know, I don't need my mail. I mean, you know, I get email. I love to send mail. Could I go to the post office and pick it up once a week? I mean, is there a way to cut costs elsewhere and still fund your liabilities?
Well, look, the post office is efficient. It's the most reasonable postage rates in the world. You can send a first-class letter from one side of the country to the other, including Alaska and Hawaii. You know, first-class postage in France is 95 cents, and
I know maybe that's too cheap.
So while I'm saying is there really isn't a need to cut costs. What we need is to get rid of this unfair and absurd financial burden, and then let the post office be the post office. It has been very successful, and it can continue to be so.